What's up, good people? Let's get into it. Let's jump right into it. Last night's game, it is the morning after. Well, it's still morning where I am anyway. The morning after Vegas and Dallas. We'll get to that in a minute. New York and Connecticut. Ugh. Some stuff in both of those games. All right, we're going to jump off with Stewie and company. Stewie showed why she was certainly at the top of most people's minds when it came to the player of the year, the MVP, whatever it's called, and played really well last night. Again, if you've watched my other videos, if you haven't, go back and watch my other videos where I talk about what needs to happen for these teams to win. And one of those things has always been about Ionescu multiplying, diversifying her game, because just being a long-range shooter ultimately in this league is not going to be enough. Amazing shooter, great game, did some really cool things, had some really cool moments that really propelled New York to the next level. But diversification is the name of the game at this level. Stewie showed up. Stewie was nice. Stewie was shooting her jumper. She was blocking shots. She was doing all the things that people expect Stewie to do. But again, and I said this in an earlier video, Benijah Chaney. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, the supporting cast for the New York Liberty on point last night. Benijah, big threes, big defensive plays, really elevated the intensity of the New York Liberty. Jonquel Jones, huge rebounds, huge putbacks, huge defensive plays. They played better as a team, and as a result, they knocked it out. But let's talk about what Connecticut did not do. Connecticut forgot that this is a long game and that you've got to play a certain way to be successful late in the playoffs. And what we saw in Connecticut last night, who had some moments, but not enough sustained greatness to beat a New York Liberty team. And we saw them crumble under the pressure of a long season. We saw them crumble under the pressure of feeling like this game is getting away from them, right? This game is getting away from us. You could see that. You could see that in the way they responded to their teammates. You could see that in the way they were responding to their coaching. Yeah, they fell apart. They fell apart. And then they were able to pull some of it back together. But let's talk about the falling apart part. By the way, my t-shirt says no more excuses. No more excuses. At this point, if you're a Final Four team, literally you're playing in the finals of the WNBA, you have no excuses. All right, so let's go back to Connecticut. Connecticut, you cannot afford whatever ills that have been happening during the course of your season. You cannot afford to literally just crumble to the floor in a game of this magnitude. Alyssa Thomas is going off on her team. I don't know what was happening. I don't know what was happening in that team over the season. And I don't know what was said other than the lip syncing I could read during the game last night. But during those times, you need your team to know that everybody's in the trenches together. Everybody's in that foxhole with you. This is not the time to be coming after your teammate. And y'all can say whatever y'all want about what Michael Jordan is. I don't care anything about how big of an a-hole Michael Jordan is rumored to be. I don't care about how big of a jerk any of these people are. I'm going to tell you right now, in our game, you do what Connecticut did last night, and some of those people might not recover. I'm just going to tell you that. Been on teams, been on great teams, been on teams where some of that stuff was happening. And all you need is literally when you get to this point, because everybody's tired. It's been a long season for everybody. All the things that get on your nerves are at an all-time high because you're physically tired, you're mentally tired. It's a psychological battle. You need to be on one accord. I'm not saying you can't yell at your teammates. I'm not saying that you can't get in your teammates' grill. I'm not saying you can't hold your teammates accountable. All of those things are important. But timing of all of those things mean more than anything. So Alyssa Thomas, I'm not sure what was said. I wish I could have been in that locker room after the game last night to hear what was said there. But absolutely no way do you get your team in that situation and then fall apart against a team that's playing as well as New York was playing. So that's my thoughts on Connecticut. So regroup. Obviously, they deserve to be there. Regroup and figure it out and stay together. Your best bet when you're trying to get to a championship round is to stay together. That's all I got to say on that. All right, speaking of staying together, Aces versus Dallas. Let's start with the Aces, since a lot of y'all want to talk about that online, about how terrible A'ja Wilson was. If you think about it, all of our MVP candidates have had a terrible game. Stewie had one a few days ago. Alyssa Thomas had one kind of last night. And A'ja Wilson had hers last night. So that's just how it is. You're going to have some bad games. But the difference in what happened last night was that Chelsea Gray had a great first half. Wasn't terrific, wasn't amazing second half, but she was balling. So even when A'ja wasn't A'ja, the point guard was still doing what she does. She was still doing Chelsea great things. And that's why the Aces were able to hang in there. And then Jackie Young, and then Kelsey Plum. And then I was sitting there watching, my living room, and I said, in a minute, A'ja's going to do some A'ja things. And she did. And ended up with, a decent line. Definitely not a great game. But great individuals don't win championships. Great teams do. And the Aces proved, if there was any doubt, they proved why they should be vying for a back-to-back championship. That's what great teams do. The other people do what they do. They got to come in. They got to support at a different level. And you never saw, here's what I want to point out. You never saw the Aces fall apart. You never did. I saw them complain about officiating a lot more than I see them complain about officiating. But they didn't fall apart. A'ja never fell apart. A'ja trusted the fortress around her. She trusted the fact, she believed it's going to get better. This is terrible. I can acknowledge it. This is terrible. But I'm not playing an individual sport. So the fortress, that's what y'all need to be thinking about. The fortress for your favorite teams. What's a fortress? What's it built on? Is it built on sand? Is it built on water? Is it built on rock? That fortress is everything at this point in the season. All right, let's turn our attention to the fortress that kind of fell apart last night. Dallas Wings, and y'all already know I'm a Dallas girl if you've been watching my videos. I'm a Dallas girl, meaning I'm from Dallas, not that I support any team more than I support any other team. I'm a W fan. But I am a Dallas girl. I'm from Dallas and played at the University of Texas. I'm watching the Aces. I love those two teams. And the question I had for someone interviewed me before that game, and asked me what I thought the outcome was going to be. I said, well, two things. If Dallas is able to get the shots they want, if it's a close game, if they are able to get the shots they want, if they have planned for backup shots for Arike Gumbawale, maybe using her as a decoy, and you can get some of these other people's shots. If Dallas, hear what I said, if they get the shots they want, meaning the good shots that they want, Dallas will win. And what happened? Last 4.5 minutes, the shots that Dallas took were not the best shots. They were not the best shots that they could have gotten. They could have gotten better shots. They started settling for 10 to 30 footers. They did. I thought Satu Sabali should have gone but she's been taking people to the hole all summer. Why aren't you taking them to the hole today, baby? They can't guard you. Take them to the hole. You got size, you got quickness, you're intelligent, you can drop a dime when you need to. You can shoot. Like, why are you shooting 19 footers for no reason? That's what happened to Dallas. Shot selection was atrocious down the stretch. 100%. And so when you do that, you play, of course, right into the defense's hands. Listen, the Aces were clawing their way back in. Dallas had a 7-point lead with a few minutes left in the game. The difference in the shot selection, A'ja Wilson came off a curl, dribble, layup. Somebody else penetrated, boom, dime, dropped a dime to somebody for a layup. Now it's a 1-point game. So I don't need to go through all the play-by-play. Y'all were there. Y'all saw it. Shot selection, last 4.5 to 5 minutes, atrocious. And literally what I said in that interview was, if Dallas can get quality shots down the stretch, and when I say quality, I mean taking the ball to the hole, dribble penetration, I mean getting it to your post players, which that happened to some degree. I didn't think Tierra McGowan played great. And last but certainly not least for all of them, you got to make free throws. 50, by the way, newsflash, shooting 50 to 60% from the free throw line is not great. You got to make free throws. Bigs miss free throws. Bigs got to compete more. Bigs got to get their butts in the gym and get better next year. These are the facts. These are absolutely the facts. Congratulations to the Dallas Wings on a cool run, given what they were. But to much, is given, as in who you are right now, much is expected. So I am excited for what's happening in the Dallas future, because we can't do anything about last night. But the fact is, and y'all know this, we need our teams to be great. We need 90% of our teams to be great. You're always going to have a cellar of teams that are like, what is wrong with this team? But literally, we need a league where 80 to 90% of our teams, the games are like they were last night. The games are like in these final two games, final two matchups headed to the finals. So congratulations to the Aces on getting the opportunity to defend their championship. They deserve it. They've proven that. Congratulations, Becky Hammon, who understands how to get her players to do what they need to do when they need to do it. Congratulations to Latricia Trammell of the Dallas Wings. Got that team to buy in, and now it's next level. Congratulations. Y'all have a great offseason. Can't wait to see y'all next season. I am trying to get tickets to Vegas. So if I get to Vegas, I'll probably be doing my podcast live from the Michelob Arena. All right. Y'all have a great Saturday, and I hope your team in football wins. Peace.